Hey, welcome to the channel, and today I wanted to talk about my immigration journey here in Canada. This is one of the videos that has been requested a lot, and I kind of did a Hindi version. I'll link it somewhere here, and I'm like, why not do an English version since a lot of you have been requesting this. So let's start with my first immigration or my first status in Canada, which was a student. So I came to Canada in 2016 as an international student, and I did high school back in India. I was enrolled into a computer science degree, but I dropped out and moved here. And for the details on what I chose to study, so I did a computer networking and technical support diploma here at St. Lawrence College, which is around 2 to 3 hours away from Toronto. And yeah, that's where I did my 2-year diploma. So a lot of the questions people ask is why I chose this diploma. So as I had chosen computer science back in India, which I didn't complete, I wanted my education to be still around computers. So computer networking and technical support was one of the diplomas that was 2 years and was available at St. Lawrence. So I took that, and yeah, that's basically my reason for choosing it. And computer networking was one of the things that I was really interested in. So moving on to going through that diploma. So it was a 2-year program. During that time, I worked as a cashier at a gas station for more than 2 years, to be honest. And then also during my summer break, I worked at a pizza delivery. So at a pizza restaurant where I delivered pizzas. So in summer, I did two part-time jobs. And then during my studies, it was just one part-time job as a cashier. And that's how, I took care of my finances like rent, living expenses, and stuff. So that's my student journey. Moving on to, the co-op. So our program had a co-op or placement or internship, you can say, and which was required by the course. So you need to have done a co-op for 2 months in order to graduate from this program. So for that co-op, I worked at a local company in Kingston called Printfleet, and I was a junior IT admin. So I assisted with, IT tasks, tickets, and fixing laptops or any other kind of IT tickets you would get. And that was for 2 months. And after doing that co-op, I was able to get a full-time job offer from the same company as a product support person or a technical support person, right? So that and the time between the co-op and the full-time offer was 2 weeks. So after I got that, I was really relieved. And for my work permit, it is not a traditional path that I took. So people apply it online, and it takes around 90 to 150 days to get your work permit. In my case, I went to the border and got it. So I know there have been stories where most of the people get rejected at the border, and I don't recommend it. The only reason I went to the border is, first of all, it was only 15 to 20 minutes ride from Kingston, the closest US border. And also I had a full-time job offer letter with me. So I had my grades, I had my transcripts, and I had a job offer saying, I'm starting Monday. And this was a Friday or a Saturday that I went to the border, and I was like, hey, I'm going to join this company as this person, and I will work there full time. And I want my work permit as the HR requested. And the immigration officer was good enough at the border, or the border officer was good enough to, validate all of the documents that I provided. And he issued me a work permit right then. And it took me almost 2 hours, including the drive. So that was pretty quick rather than, waiting 90 days. But I don't recommend it, right? I think I had all the necessary documents and it worked out. Even though the border officer also said, we recommend you to apply it online, we don't process work permits here. But I had, the offer letter saying that, I'm starting on Monday, and the HR would love to have a work permit on file. So yeah, that was the story behind my work permit. And now I was a worker. So from student status. I'm now a worker, right? And after that, I think around 6 month mark, with my first full-time job as technical support person, um, I realized, or I got to know about the OINP program, which is the Ontario Immigration Nomination Program, I think it's called. And yeah, so basically what that does is there are a couple of streams in OINP where Ontario goes in and sees if you're skilled enough and your job is in demand in Ontario, they will nominate you to be a PR to the federal government. And I'll talk about this process in depth now. Okay, so I got to know about this ONP program, right? And it basically, since I was working in tech and my NOC, which stands for knock, job was also included in one of these eligible fields that ONP would nominate, I reached out to my HR and see if they would give me the employer form. So there are two forms. One is for the candidate and one is employer. So there are a few requirements for ONP, especially for the international student stream that I applied for. One of them being, that the business is in Ontario for the last 3 or 5 years. I don't know. You can check the requirements online if they have changed. And then also there must be more than 3 Canadian citizens who are working at the company, and some revenue requirements, like the company is making certain amount of revenue every year. So those requirements that information needed to be on an employer form. So that's what I needed the HR approval for, which took me around 30 days to get approved. And shout out to the HR person. I don't know if I want to disclose their name, but shout out to them. They have helped me a lot during the entire process at that company to get my PR. And yeah, so I received the approval from HR. So I've gathered documents and applied for ONP, and I got my ONP, which is a nomination certificate you get within 28 days. So after getting that ONP, I was able to attach it to my PR file. So now I can file a paper-based PR. And yeah, that's what I did. So I took the nomination certificate and I filed the paper-based PR and sent that to IRCC. Because it was paper-based, it was gonna take around 12 to 15 months. And it almost took 16 months to get a reply back from them saying, hey, here's your COPR, which is basically a confirmation of your PR. And then on top of that, it took around 40 days to get my physical PR card. So yeah, that was the entire immigration journey for me. From 2016 to 2020 is when I got my PR. So if you want a time frame, right, 2016 to 2018 I was a student, 2018 to 2020 I was a worker or on work permit, and 2020 is when I got my PR, and till now I am PR. So we'll see when I want to apply for citizenship and if that's something I want to do. But hope you like this video. I know it's not traditional tech video that I usually do on this channel, but I guess this gives you some perspective on the immigration side of my story. Peace.